Photographers are very similar to cockroaches. They don't really belong anywhere on the planet. They eat your food. They leave a mess. They're fast. They're fast as lightning. Just they're bad people. Well, today 10 of them asked me a question before they scurried off into the night, and we answer them because I'm an expert. I vlog in a living room.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So if you notice that your question doesn't make the show, it's because you suck and I'm not interested in your problems. Ask me something related to my life that's fun. I don't care, oh, how can I shoot a museum at night? Stop asking me difficult questions. What is this, school? This bullshit. Just let me live. And a little side note to my cognitively distant freak brothers down there. You know who you are. I have a couple people here posting the same exact comment every video. If you want to annoy me, congrats, you've done it. You're also banned for life. One guy just kept posting, bro, are you gonna review the iPhone 12 Pro Max? And then he'll say it like, here's my 8th time asking. It's like, okay, that was enough, you're banned. And another guy, who's this? He posts the same thing every video. Who is Jack Morris? This ain't a riddle show here. Your band is the answer to that question. Thank you for coming. And yes, the painting is back. I have convinced her. Somehow, when I turned it upside down, now we're no longer seeing drunk women at a bar, are we? It's just abstract. And the colors tie everything together. Oh boy. Was that your question? Hi, I do not know which camera to buy. Your advice is very much needed. Please, so tell me which is the best and worth. Lumix G85 or Fuji X-T200. Oh my god. Thankfully, Google has the answers. This. Let me check. Yeah, I'll just go check. Oh, it is the G85. I didn't know it. I had to go check. Good choice. Google, you're a moron. The answer is obvious and it's been in your heart the whole time. It's the Panasonic G85. It's the ultimate camera. Honestly, getting the G9 from that, sure, it had a bit more dynamic range. That was the only thing. It was heavier, did nothing. Autofocus was worse because I had the hack. G85 with the eye dynamic feature. Can you beat that thing? I don't think you can. The most stable you could get with that Leica 15mm 21.7. The glory's yours. You just have to tap, wait, lock. And then you're in focus the whole show, whereas even a Canon M50 will lose you sometimes. That's your answer. Fuji X-T200 has unusable preamps. Run from it. So does the Fuji X-T4. Bullshit. We'll switch to it. And then you'll hear the hiss. Canon R6 or Fuji X-T4 is the real question. Is the R6 worth it? It's bigger, heavier, and way more expensive lenses, plus lenses are more expensive. I might have messed up that sentence. If it's me, honestly, I think I'd go Canon R6. Just full frame is better in every way. It's heavier, depends what you're gonna use it for. Are you vlogging? Even if you are, the 15 to 35 is too heavy, but you could do it. Held by the lens, it's not as heavy because you lose the tripod weight. And then you're always in focus, great color science, ibises, it wobbles, but it's usable. It's good times. Fujifilm lens technology just isn't there with the autofocus. It's not as good as Canon. It's not just the lenses, it's their whole system. Their algorithm to what to detect. It's always detecting faces in the background. You can't have it hunt the whole screen for a face. It'll see everywhere. There's a face, which one to focus on. It's a pain in the bitch. And then the processing speed is not fast enough to make the right decision quickly. It's terrible, but you're in a box and then you're fine. You just put the box there and then it'll get you. But they're loud lenses. So shotgun mic on top of the camera, you'll hear it. You'll hear it. They're both good at some things, not a perfect camera, that's for sure. I really wonder how different types of 20 by 30, oh god, a photographer. How'd you infiltrate this show? Oh man, I thought you were vlogging to a grocery store or something. This is bullshit. You're gonna take pictures and print them like that? Just find them in the dumpster where they belong. I gotta be honest with you, the only advantage Fuji has is that they're cheaper and lighter. Worse autofocus. Colors are a preference. You'll probably prefer the Canon colors. IBIS is worse, autofocus worse, everything is worse pretty much, except 240 frames per second slow-mo. Even though that's pretty bad, it's always noisy and the lines. Aliasing. I'll alias your mom in 3 minutes. I couldn't even afford the Fujifilm punk-ass camera I traded years ago. One question though, what do you think of the Nikon P1000? It's a piece of shit. They went the opposite direction in what they needed. I've been researching bridge cameras just to keep y'all up to date. I bought that Sony RX10 Mark IV. I returned it because I was just like, the color science annoying, the screen not being bright. It really is only 1080p cam because the stave in 4K was bullshit and the screen was so dim. And just the battery, I had an extra charger. You gotta charge it in camera. Is bullshit. Big and clunky. So I sent it back and I was researching, and of course that was one that came up. Even longer reach, but the tiny sensor, it's never gonna be good enough. Even the 1-inch was like, that's kind of tiny. So we're going, we got something coming. I bought it from Camera Canada. It's coming. I won't ruin it. But if you're in that ballpark, the P950 is better in my opinion, because the P1000, they stretched it too far, from 2000 to 3000 mils, and then they made it darker. The lens is shit. So P950 is the sweet spot. It has 4K, but it's still a tiny sensor look. Not good. I would go with the RX10 IV. It's better in every way. Even, I bet you cropped, it looks better. I didn't test it. I've never used a Nikon camera, so don't ask me. But I assume they suck, and they probably do. I might even lean Canon SX70. I've debated it. I've seen it on sale. But tiny sensor. It's no bueno. Which one would you recommend as first camera, the Z50 or XS10? Why does nobody ever tell me what they plan to use it for? How would I know? If you like lenses, you go Fuji. At least they have some. The Z50, it's only 2 kit lenses and then a bunch of full frame glass. Nothing wide. 14mm ain't wide. It's a safe neighborhood. Nikon isn't committed to APS-C. They're not gonna continue that line and make a bunch of amazing fast primes, and most third-party companies don't even make them for that system. They don't even care. They'll do a Fuji or Sony APS-C, but Nikon, oh sorry, we didn't make it in that mount. Same with Canon M, dead. If it's me, I go XS10 all the way, and then we know we got a future, at least. Let's switch to its bigger brother. Same exact image. But listen to the preamp bullshit. The bass in my voice, see you later. Hiss, it's coming. My God, you're worth it, Fuji. You're worth every lack you have. Every time I see it. So you hearing it now? All the voice, bass, disappeared, just hiss. It's terrible. They're terrible. Was that your question? We're done with you. I've been watching you video for some time. Love your sense of humor. I'm a Micro Four Thirds loser. Currently owning a Olympus EM1 Mark II. I'm satisfied with it. Photography function, but for videography, I would like to go for the Penny Boy. What? What a plot twist. You have Olympus lenses and you think that they're going to be compatible with your Panasonic camera, which is the biggest lie the industry has ever known. Panasonic lenses on Olympus cameras don't really work well. Same with the opposite. Actually, it's better. Olympus lenses autofocus better than Panasonic, so you could have something, except you don't. Should I? Do you suggest the Penny GH5 Mark II for my first videography camera, or wait for the GH6? You're a moron. You have the camera. You're done. I am very blessed to have been given many cameras, and if I'm going to use a camera, it's either going to be the Sony a7S III or the Fuji X-T4. They're almost the same exact camera, but Fuji has a little different quality to it, a little more filmic. Just the colors, that's it. I had the Panasonic G9 and the Olympus EM1 Mark III. And in order to use those over my twin lovers here, there had to be an advantage. Panasonic, it weighed as much as the A7S III and couldn't autofocus. It was a little more stable, cool, but like there was no advantage. Colors worse, everything worse. Whereas the Olympus, much lighter. With the 12mm Tony-2, it's like, okay, if I don't want to carry this heavy thing, at least I can carry the lighter thing. And it had much better colors, and the autofocus was just as good. And it's like, you're not losing anything, just a bit of dynamic range. But you save so much weight. Penny's fat. They're not going to autofocus. GH2? I mean GH5 2? That thing's a joke. It's a firmware update. I'm waiting for the GH6 because they got bored. They're like, oh no, we haven't released anything. Let's just do it. Oh. Firmware update. Red on the thing. I like it. I'm going to buy one. So appreciate what you have. The Olympus EM1 Mark II, like, you have everything you'd ever need. You think you need to step up for your first videography camera? Get real. You already have it. Oh, look at this dickhead. He wrote so much. Oh, why do you do it to me? I'm an outdoor person. I like to dive and hike in mountains. Already a G85 owner? Considering the EM1 III in combination with the Panasonic 10-25, that thing's too heavy. Throw it out. Sell it for something lighter. I'll buy it. Olympus 100-400 plus the teleconverter, wildlife, and ultra-wide underwater housing. I want an ultra-wide housing. Invent it. I shoot both photo and video. Question, how good is the EM1 III with the Panasonic Leica lens? I used to use for vlogs, portraits, landscapes, everything. I can't find a good in-depth review of this camera lens comp. Why would I have it? I've never tried it. Why would I know? All I know is that Olympus lenses on Olympus bodies, fantastic. Put a Panasonic lens on there, haywire. Sometimes it works. I don't know what that one should work because it's like designed for video autofocus, but it has Panasonic roots and it will mess up at some point and it's heavy as shit. It'll be better than any Panasonic camera, but still, it might go haywire. I hope the EM1 IV has 4K 10-bit 60p. Like, you need it. Get a job. You shoot such a wide range of stuff, it's impossible to have one camera to rule them all, but I would be surprised if the EM1 III let you down in any area. Just know that the 100-400 does not have sync stabilization, the dual stab. The lens has stab, but only some. I'll rant in a future video on this. Unbelievable. It's not dual stab though, just know that. Can you help me find a camera to film mostly indoors, sometimes by a pool, and close range, people in motion? Skin tone's very important. Audio must be good, with handling, voices, and screams. This sounds like a terrible, like you've kidnapped people. I don't want to help you. Autofocus is important since I will focus on the job while filming. You're running a porn show, a porn pool party. We all know that. I still don't want to help you. Thanks for your expertise. Yeah, in pool vlogs, is that what I do? Bunch of random ass people. Get a Sony A7S III. Amazing dynamic range with the pool glitter off the sunlight. You know what I just realized? I've been in manual focus the whole time. Was there any chance that I nailed the focus? I think if I was here, but I wasn't really, I was here. Oh, I suck at my job. Why did I do that? Oh man. There we are. Wow. Can you hear the lens focusing now? Things are getting dark and weird. Oh boy, I suck. So since you're indoors a lot, low light, full frame, Sony A7S III or Canon R6, get by with something like that. Then you go outside in the pool, you're still good, you got some slow-mo, autofocus. I've helped you. Hello, I want a camera to vlog because I'm going to travel the world, Egypt, etc. Which would you advise me? I thought of Sony ZV-1, but I don't like the screen on one side. Really? Is that the case? So you're vlogging, you're traveling, just stick with the Sony X3000. Why complicate your life? Something like that. You could go with the GoPro. I'll be honest with you. The GoPro 9 shattered the X3000's dreams, and I've sent it back because it was that bad. I didn't realize how bad it was. My phone is better. It's terrible. Sony needs to catch up now with the X4000, but till then, I say GoPro 9, just know that you're going to lose half your trip. It's not going to actually record, and you'll have popping audio at times and weird shit and glitches and freezes. It's too bad. It's too bad. Maybe DJI action. Until they come out with the 2 though, that might be a mistake. Use your phone, maybe an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'll review it soon. If somebody would just ask me a couple more times, I'll kill your dog. The ZV-1's too tight. I still don't know if they've announced if I'm allowed to talk about the other one that's even worse than the ZV-1 in my opinion, so it's not even worth mentioning. But just go with a little action cam or your phone, or upgrade your phone to use it for that purpose. But get a good one. If you had to do like a mirrorless, I would go Olympus EM1 Mark II with the 12-200. There's your ultimate travel lens because you could vlog with it and zoom super far. Wow. You've already helped me decide to get the Canon EOS R. It's in the mail now. Now I need your help once more, good sir. I need a single lens that can do everything. Not really, but kinda. I'm thinking it's the 24-240. I don't know, I tried that lens. It's kind of cool having that much range. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It's my first lens, but I'm worried about the weight. Yeah, it's heavy. All full frame, all Canon glass is heavy as shit. What? Disney and zoos? Are you a sheep-ass trick? You do know that Walt Disney... Oh, man. How do I say this in code? He wants to make children happy, but in reality he makes them very sad and dead. There wasn't much code, but... And zoos are prisons for animals. Stop supporting them. Chris, I'm looking at you. Jordan, right in the eyes. It's kill on sight. Performance, also used for portraits, indoor events for kids. Events for kids, yeah. Kids never come home from those events, do they? At Disney. Astrophotography. Why do you have so many different things? And I still get better lenses for it. Do you think the weight and lack of low light performance would be worth it to have all-in-one super zoom? Or might there be a better option like a couple primes? Looking to spend less than $1,000 initially. Oh God. You just bought a full-frame camera. Full-frame lenses are the world's most exquisite, luxury, unneeded item. And they're expensive. You can't budget $1,000. Your 35 mil ain't gonna do jack shit when your kids are screaming for help in the dungeons underneath Disney. I don't know that the 24-240 is gonna get you. I go 15-35 when you're done. If you need a little extra zoom reach on there, you can't have it. The 35 1.8 is a pretty good lens though. That's probably the lens I would stick with for that system. And then I don't know that they have anything. The 85, isn't it just 1.2 or Tony 2? There is no 1.4, isn't there? Don't quote me on that. We're moving on from you. I hate your question. Last question here. Random question, Casey, would you actually recommend an action camera to someone looking to vlog? Absolutely. That's the only thing you should be using. I know you've used one, still do. Question mark. Kind of. I prefer my phone. It's better. It's like action camera territory, but it's so much more versatile with the zoom range and the 7,000 frames per second slow-mo. It's like, no action cam can do what it does. It's just the color science is disgusting. I'm hoping the P50 Pro comes out with new color science. That would be exciting to me. Something upgraded. Maybe like a 2-second burst on that slow-mo. Oh boy. Would you recommend is the best route to take for vloggers? Pretty much. Because you don't know if you're going to stick with it. Just get something cheap. DJI Osmo Action. You're not going to be in focus, but nobody's really going to care. They're watching on their phone. It's like, good stabe. Audio is shit. You need the mic jack thing, and it sucks. But yeah, Casey Neistat really complicated everybody's lives because he's having this GorillaPod big mirrorless, and he's like, yeah, this is worth it to carry around. No, it's not. It never is. And it's so much worse. Everybody's looking at you in public. It's like, wow, what is that? What is this, a movie? Can I be in it? Do I have to get naked? How much will you pay me? You have to pay me to be in my movie. Yeah, that's right. So action cam all the way. Unfortunately, GoPro, not very reliable. DJI out of focus. X3000 looking a little old. Still has some issues. Just use your phone is the answer if you have a Huawei P40 Pro and above. There's nothing above it. That was a lie. Who's winning? Sony? Fuji? Wow. Don't ever compare your cameras side by side because you thought you liked your other one and then you see it next to something better and you're like, ah, shit. This looks like shit. Don't ever do it. Who won the battle? Thank you for watching and buying a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt. Subscribe.